speaking on things such as faith and politics, we have to remember in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself, ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the West Coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do. And
thank you for giving us the voice.
For being out there helping to keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for your support for veterans in the military. Educating us. Standing up for conservatism. Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hey, everybody. So glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele. Big D back in the studio behind the glass. Nina's in the breaking newsroom, which just happens to be right here because she's with me right now at Oaks Farm Seed to Table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road in beautiful Naples. That is where we are. We are broadcasting live today, 3 to 6 p.m. Well, we're on 3 to 6 p.m. each and every day. But this is where we are today as we got a very special program. We got a lot lined up, including Scott Pressler, who's going to be joining us. We'll talk a little bit about elections and what he's thinking about the 2026 chances for Republicans, and there is a lot going on. What a busy day today. First of all, already getting busy here. So in case you're wondering where we are, as we are broadcasting live across the state of Florida, here's the thing. So if you're in Charlotte, Lee, Collier, Hendry, Glades, anywhere on the west coast of Florida, we are just off of I-75 and Immokalee Road, so that's where we are now. And if maybe you are across the alley, so you're in Weston or you're somewhere near Coral Springs or Fort Lauderdale, you can come on down the alley and come hang out with us as well. We would love to see you. Now, coming up, it is a busy, busy, busy day for Republicans in the state of Florida. There's a lot of news going on today. There's a lot of news about Byron Donalds and some of what he said in the past couple of days we're going to get to. We're also going to get to some of the comments that were made by some of the people that are in the race about Byron Donalds that maybe shouldn't have been said. But sometimes when you're not supposed to say something, it doesn't matter because you're trying to make a point. I know somebody was saying that James Fishback, who's in the race, made some kind of racist comment about Byron Donalds, and we're going to talk about that coming up and see whether or not that is the case. Also, another big announcement that took place today here in the state of Florida, a huge announcement that has to do with the governor's race. So much happening here that we are going to get to. But before we do, a couple of things that are going on. First of all, we got a lot of great friends here. Obviously, Red State Golf and Goated are here with their products. RedState.golf, anytime you want to check out what they have, they are absolutely fantastic. Great golf gear. My son loves it. I love it. And I'm not wearing it today, though. That's the only thing, because I didn't get a sweatshirt. So I need a Goated sweatshirt is what I need. And there are people that are doing some amazing things in the community. And, Dee, I hope you don't mind. I can't hear you back at the studio, so let's just put it this way. I wanted to start with a little bit of good news here. Some people that are doing some great work. Come on, you and your mom, come on up here. And like I said, there are some people that are doing fantastic work here in Southwest Florida. Have a seat right there. Have a seat right here. Okay, first of all, tell everybody, now grab the mic nice and close to your mouth there, and tell everybody your name. What's your name?
I'm Paul Campbell.
Paul Campbell, and you are?
And I'm Paul's mom, Angela.
All right, and Paul's mom, Angela. That's you could woo. It's all right. I heard a couple of woos. Here's the cool thing. You're getting woos already, and you don't even know. They're not even sure why you're getting the woos, but you're going to tell them right now why they should be so excited that you're here, because there's some cool stuff that you're doing. So first of all, tell everybody about what it is that you're doing right now here in Southwest Florida.
So right now we are doing a sock drive for the homeless people of the Collier County area for St. Matthew's House and the Hunger and Homeless Coalition of Collier County.
That is amazing. So you're collecting socks. Is that what you do? So in numbers, like if I'm walking around your house, do I see a lot of socks lately?
You would see a lot of necessities. It's not just socks, it's necessities. We have a bunch of boxes at our house.
Yeah.
So if you walked in the front door and you took a left, you would just see a bunch of boxes that she is in the middle of counting right now.
He's being humble. There's 3,400 pairs of socks and other essential items. So underwear, T-shirts, toothpaste, sunscreen, toothbrushes, and socks.
So how did you all get involved in this? Like why, for example, well, let me ask you, why did you decide you wanted to do this?
I was six. So 7 years ago, we were in Hawaii. We were on a trip, and we were walking back to our hotel, and there was like 10 to 15 people just lined up outside of our hotel. And I go up to my mom. I'm like, Mom, can I have some money? And she's like, what do you need money for? You're 6. I'm like, read their signs. They need money. If they don't get money, they can't eat. And she said, well, we don't know what they're going to do with that money. So I was like, but they have to eat. Can we at least buy them food? And then she was like, we can figure something out when we get to Pennsylvania. And when we got back, because we used to live in Pittsburgh, Upper St. Clair, we moved here 3 years ago. Yeah. So basically, we went up there. The sock drive started. It was more of like a family and friends thing at first. Then when it got down here, obviously it blew up because I'm on this show right now.
Okay.
And it's awesome.
Well, that's fantastic. And so tell me a little bit more about, obviously, what you've been able to do so far and who you're helping out specifically.
Yeah, so once we get the donations, we package everything up and take it to the local shelters. So St. Matthew's House and the Hunger and Homeless Coalition, they then distribute to the homeless community. St. Matthew's House is actually a shelter for the homeless community,
right.
And the Hunger and Homeless Coalition just pitches in and really supports our homeless community. There is a significant homeless population in Collier County. I think we forget. We see the nice houses and we see, people running around with, fancy cars and nice things, right? But we have a significant homeless population in Collier County.
Right.
So, his mission is to cover 2 feet at a time, and he's doing that. So he's to date raised 8,000 pairs of socks and other essential items.
Nice.
And we had 3,400 sitting. Last year he did 3,000. We had 3,400 sitting in our house right now.
Unbelievable. That is fantastic.
So in total about 11,400, which I must say that I think that is awesome that I get to be able to do this because I get to, help people, which is awesome, and help other kids like me who may not. In Pennsylvania, I was in a pretty dark place, struggling to find my purpose in life, what I'm going to do in life. And basically, now that I have my purpose here in Florida with the sock drive, how it all blew up, I want this to be a message to any other kids who may be struggling to find their purpose, that it will come to you eventually, as long as you just try new things and figure it out, find what you love. And when you get to do that, you have fun, you enjoy your life.
Wow, and what an awesome thing to be passionate about, helping others, right?
Yeah.
So now comes the big part. Okay, Paul's Footprint. And where do we go if we want to help you? People are listening across the state of Florida and around the world. They're watching right now. We've got the cameras on right here. So if they're watching, they're listening, wherever they are, what can they do? Where can they go?
Well, one of the really main ways that we do it is we have these flyers, and there's these QR codes that you can scan, and when you scan it, it takes you to a wish list. You order off that wish list. It all gets ordered straight to our house, and then we have the ability to package it and ship it out whenever we can.
For those that are at home, though, we have an Amazon wish list on Amazon, obviously. It's called Paul's Footprint.
There you go.
So you go out, you find Paul's Footprint. Like Paul said, everything ships directly to us. We take it, we organize it so that the homeless shelters are not getting just a pile of stuff.
Right.
So we organize everything, count everything, and then we deliver it to the homeless
She
shelters.
does that.
That's my job.
That is awesome.
She said she doesn't trust me and my dad.
Is that what it is? All right. Well, it's great to see you both. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Such a blessing to the community. Thank you. And
thank you.
All the best, okay?
Thank you for having me and getting
Absolutely.
the word out.
All right, give it up, everybody. That's how you start the show. You start the show with the really good positive stuff because you know you're going to get into the really crazy stuff coming up in just a minute, which has to do with some of what we are witnessing around the country. And when I say crazy, here's exactly what I'm talking about. Look, we all know, and I said this the other day, I said it on the air, and we knew this was going to take place, that this weekend was going to be the weekend where the left, the media, Democrats, all the same thing, that they were going to get together and try to convince the American people who are very, very busy. They got a lot of different things that are going on in their lives. They've got the kids, they've got family, they've got all kinds of stuff, and they're not paying attention necessarily to social media like many people are. And so what ends up happening, we're trying to figure out exactly what took place in Minnesota. Now, number one, of course it's tragic. Of course what took place, that someone lost their life this way, is a tragedy. There's no doubt about it. But now you have to get down to believing your eyes or believing those who want to tell you what the truth is. You have to make that choice. So, for example, you're going to have Democrats who are going to make their way to social media, that are going to make their way to some of the media outlets and try to convince the American people who either don't want to believe what they saw or didn't get a chance to see what they saw in the shooting in Minnesota, and try to make an opinion based on who they follow. So, for example, you had the politicians in Minnesota who rushed, couldn't wait to get to the cameras on Sunday because they wanted to build what we all know is going on right now, which is this narrative about Renee Good, who was shot, the 37-year-old who was blocking traffic, who just about ran over the ICE agent, and they're going to have their moment where they're going to go to media and they're going to tell the story the way they saw it.
Nicole Good, as you hear her say, she's not mad. She's sitting in her car, peacefully waving.
So Ilhan Omar is the first up, and she wants to let you know that Renee Good, you saw it in the video, she wasn't mad. Of course, that was being sarcastic when she said that, but that she wasn't mad at anybody, and that she was just calmly waving people by. That's all she was doing. She wanted to block traffic to make sure that everybody had an easy go of it on the road by blocking traffic. How does that even make sense to anybody? You saw the video for yourself. Obviously, Ilhan Omar has seen the video. You can't tell me she hasn't, but this is what they do. These are flat-out lies.
Cars to get by. This agent, as you see, gets out of his car, automatically starts running towards her, trying to open her door.
I know. Why would he do that? Why would he automatically run to her and try to open her door if all she was doing was being there in traffic, trying to make sure that everybody could get by because it was getting a little crazy? That's not what happened. That's not what happened.
She feels scared. She tries to turn the wheel away, and then you see the other officer, who can clearly see the car is moving, move towards the front of the car, which, if they are saying that he has 10 years on service and is trained, he should know that you shouldn't be trying to get in front of a moving car.
He should. See, there's Ilhan Omar. So that's Democrat Ilhan Omar, who wants to let everybody know that you shouldn't get in front of a moving vehicle. Shouldn't you know that by now? In other words, if you're trying to stop somebody from blocking traffic, and by the way, illegally, hey, did I mention illegally? Illegally stopping law enforcement from doing their job. Is there any part of it that's going to be mentioned there? The fact that you can't do this. Well, they're Democrats, so yes, they can. And that this is Ilhan Omar, who is basically telling you, don't believe everything you see. Just don't do it. Don't believe what you see, because this is actually what happened. And it didn't get any better on the media outlets over the weekend, because then you had State of the Union Jake Tapper, who obviously loves the idea of having the mayor of the city of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, on the program as well to talk about this and to give, the truthful, honest answers to what happened.
Does your rhetoric need to change?
Yeah, how about you, Mayor? Does your rhetoric need to change? You know, the blank ice, get out of our city, you know, that kind of rhetoric. Does that need to change at all? Or
Yeah, I said this was a federal agent recklessly using power that ended up in somebody dying, because that was a federal agent recklessly using power that ended up in somebody dying.
Yeah, no, that's just part of it. Okay, first of all, that's your opinion, and that's not what was happening. If you have someone who not too long before that agent was dragged 300 feet and had to have 33 stitches because they were trying to apprehend a criminal illegal and got his arm caught in the door and ended up dragging him, you might say that he's looking out when some vehicle is coming his way, that he wants to make sure that it doesn't happen again, first of all. And second of all, you know, as Jake Tapper is asking about the rhetoric, he's talking about that? No. What about the blank ice rhetoric? Starts with the letter F. But that. What about that rhetoric? Get out. Get the out. I think that's what he meant. But of course, he's not going to address that, is he?
It's exactly what happened. I mean, am I biased in this? Of course. And I'm biased because I got two eyes.
You see, because my eyes are better than your eyes, because they're Democrat eyes. And Democrat eyes are much better than conservative eyes. Trust me, I know, because... because I hear them tell us all the time that it's much better. I know what I saw, and what I saw is right, and whatever you saw is incorrect, even though what I saw is nothing like what you all have been describing. It's crazy.
Anybody can see these videos. Anybody can see that this victim is not a domestic terrorist. I mean, my goodness, she's like doing a 3 or a 4 or 5 point turn.
Oh, is that what she was doing? She was doing a 3 or 4 or 5 point turn? No, she was blocking traffic the whole time.
This looks like somebody that's trying to get out of there.
If she was trying... Okay. Really? Yeah. Yes, we're going to do this. First of all, why was she there to begin with? How about that part of it? Like, why are you doing this? And some say, because she's a domestic terrorist, that's why. Well, what does domestic terrorism look like? Maybe we need to start defining for those on the left exactly what domestic terrorism looks like. If ICE agents are going out every day to get criminal illegals out of this country, many of them, and coming up in the program, we'll give you proof as to the individuals that were caught, to show throughout the past few months how there are plenty of criminal illegals that have been taken by ICE. That are we supposed to believe that these ICE agents, not knowing who's behind the vehicle, what kind of actions they might take, maybe dragging somebody 300 feet away because they're trying to get away from the ICE agent, are we supposed to assume that they shouldn't be able to self-defend, that the people that are doing things like this are breaking the law, openly breaking it? I mean, in any way, shape, or form, is that domestic terrorism? Well, it's not by their definition. Okay, gotcha.
Doing a 3 point...
I can't do it anymore. I don't even care about him anymore. So there you go. So you have Ilhan Omar, who wanted to explain that she was just trying to get out of... I don't understand. She was just telling people to come on, move along here. I'm trying to help ICE to move traffic along. That's all it was, said nobody. And then you have the mayor of the city of Minneapolis, who is like, she was just trying to make a 3 or 4 point turn. I mean, she just, accidentally ended up in that spot? Of course she didn't. That's the point. So, again, what happened this weekend? The whole story here is you knew it was going to take place, and we've got more audio coming up in just a little bit of Democrats going out all weekend long to try to defend what everybody had a chance to witness with their two eyes, without the fundamental question being asked, which is, why do you get to get in the way of law enforcement without any consequences? How does that work? And the answer, by the way, for those who are asking, is Democrats. That's what it is. All right, so we've got that we've been talking about today. We have more audio coming up live from Oaks Farm Seed to Table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road. We are in Southwest Florida in Naples today. All right, let's see what else we got going on. We have a packed house already, and it's early, beginning of the show. Scott Pressler is going to be joining us in just a little bit. We're going to talk about elections. I saw Brandon Leslie walking around, the owner, CEO of Florida's Voice, so we might have a conversation with him as well as others, and some of the big Florida news that took place, and maybe we'll dig in more coming up. The lieutenant governor of the great state of Florida is Jay Collins. He today announced his candidacy for governor. People were wondering, was it going to happen? Was he going to get in the race? Some people are like, I can't wait till Jay gets into the race. Some people are like, who? Yeah, so there's that. So anyway, a crowded 2026 Republican primary race. And this even after the polling that showed that he's in single digits behind not just Byron Donalds, but James Fishback as well. So he is a retired Army Green Beret, Purple Heart recipient, appointed lieutenant governor by Governor Ron DeSantis in August of 2025. And as he made the announcement saying that he's running for governor because leadership is forged under pressure, not in sound bites, served 23 years in the U.S. military, mainly as a Green Beret, where accountability is real, decisions have consequences, and service comes before self. That experience shaped how I lead and why I believe public office is a public trust. So a little bit of Jay Collins, who's getting into the race, the Republican primary, which by all accounts, as people feel right now, that whoever the Republican primary winner is will go on to be the next governor of the great state of Florida. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, please. Let's not do that. We want to make sure that we close the deal, if you know what I mean. Because Democrats, it's just you just never know. So we'll get into that coming up, and also a little bit more on this because there is a competitive Republican field right now. And a lot of people are looking and wondering, number one, why Jay Collins decided to get in this late, because the talk was that he was getting in a few months ago, and then it was a month ago, and then it was like weeks. So everybody has been saying, why did it take this long, and then you're doing it now? And you have the polling that just took place a couple of days ago, the latest, that says that in a four-way battle featuring Jay Collins in this poll, Congressman Byron Donalds leading 45 to 6% against Collins. Fishback is at 4% in that particular poll, although there have been some polls that have been suggested that James Fishback doing even a little better, double digits as a matter of fact. House Speaker Paul Renner at 3%, although the undecideds are at 41%. So we're still in a place right now for some, as they're discussing this, that, look, they're just not engaged yet. They're not in. And once they get in, well, we'll see what happens. Because many people thought that Jay Collins was going to be the DeSantis-endorsed candidate. Did that happen? Well, stick around because we're getting ready to take a break in just a bit. And when we come back, we're going to talk about that. Did the governor endorse the lieutenant governor? Was it kind of like a Trump, like, yeah, J.D. Vance might be. Okay. Was it a Governor DeSantis? Yeah, Jay Collins. Was it? I don't know. We'll talk about, well, I do know, but we'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. By the way, anytime you want to call, 866-588-8303 is the phone number, live 3 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday we are, and across the state of Florida. And anytime you want to watch it, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Instagram. And a reminder that if you've got issues with your air conditioning unit, Strata Air Conditioning and Heating are here when you need them most. I don't know what's going on with your AC. Maybe you just need a Strata AC tune-up, which is pretty simple, easy to handle. Or maybe a bigger job where it's just replacing that unit. I get it, 10 years or older. You should reach out to Strata, strataac.com. That's STRADAAC.com. Wherever you are across the state of Florida, they are fantastic. You ought to call Strata. License number CACO 43953. All right, top of the news from the Florida's Voice newsroom and more live from Seed to Table in Southwest Florida. We're in Naples today. My name is Drew Steele. It's Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's Rock Solid Countertops and More. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock Solid Countertops and More.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 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 855-SHARE-40.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection, and hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world, from bow and arrow to hook and bullet. As man evolved, our link to those traditions remain with them forever. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. The misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it, or leading a war against our heritage and their misguided policies and protests. They demonize hunters and belittle our way of life, the results of hunters leaving the sport in droves, while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wild lands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system, a system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got to do it. Alfie and his team designed personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, we are live from Oaks Farm Seed to Table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road in beautiful Naples. Scott Pressler is going to be hanging out with us today, among others. We got a lot of great guests and a lot of fun going to be happening here. Yes, you could. It's all right. You could applaud. I see some people applauding. That's good. Applause is good. It's only good if you start the applause. If I do the applause, then it's not good applause because then I made you do, and I don't want to make you do that. I want you to do that on your own. Anyway, live at Seed to Table in Naples. Once again, if you're in Charlotte, Lee, Collier, Glades County, and you want to come down, we are off of Immokalee Road, I-75, and you can cross the alley if you want to hang out with us as well. We would love to see you here. All right, top of the news from the Florida's Voice newsroom. Let's do the latest right now.
Top of the news, Florida's headlines now.
And I think it's Anita Padilla. AP's got the latest for us today. What's up?
Hey there, Drew. Florida Republicans are unified in rallying around Attorney General James Othmeyer. I'm going to have that story in a moment. But first, Florida's Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins makes it official. He wants to be your governor. Collins officially announcing he is running for governor, joining a crowded Republican primary to succeed term-limited Ron DeSantis. Collins is a retired Green Beret and a Purple Heart recipient and says he wants to continue conservative policies while focusing on veterans, disaster relief, and protecting Florida families. But a recent poll shows him lagging behind front-runner Congressman Byron Donalds, who's already getting a strong boost from President Donald Trump's endorsement. Collins said his military service and close work with DeSantis gives him the experience to lead Florida. The Republican primary is set for August 18th. And speaking of Governor Ron DeSantis, he, along with Insurance Commissioner Mike Yaworsky and Chief Financial Officer Blaise Ingoglia, announced major insurance rate cuts this morning. They say that these are part of the first big premium drops in modern memory. Now, the cuts mainly affect Citizens Property Insurance policyholders with an average reduction of about 8.7% this spring. Now, South Florida is getting the biggest relief here, with Miami-Dade and Broward homes seeing rate reductions of about 14%. And over in Palm Beach, the rates are dropping about 12%. Over in the Florida Keys, 11%. Officials are crediting legislative reforms and new insurers for lowering the rates. And DeSantis says the Florida effect is even lowering Uber fares throughout the state as well. Hey, good news for Florida's Attorney General James Othmeyer. The Republican Party of Florida over the weekend voted unanimously to endorse him as he runs for his first full term in office. Now, this does follow an earlier endorsement back in October by President Donald Trump, who called him a strong conservative fighter and a prosecutor. Party leaders say that the vote shows strong unity and confidence in his leadership as the state heads into the next election cycle. All right, that's it for now. But coming up at 4:35, I'll come back to tell you about the DOJ investigating the Federal Reserve's Jerome Powell. And I'll tell you why Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna is behind the push to have him face criminal charges. That's in our next hour. I'm Anita Padilla, the news director here at Florida's Voice. Drew, let's toss it back over to you at the live show in Naples at Seed to Table.
All right, we appreciate their AP in the Florida's Voice newsroom. And anytime you want to check out the stories that they're working on, you can go to flvoicenews.com. Florida's Voice, that is the website, and everything is right there. What else we got? All right, a couple of other things I wanted to mention today as we are live. First of all, I did want to mention that there's a lot going on around the world right now, and it was a big Friday leading into the weekend, and just a little international news because there were a lot of people that were describing what is going on in Iran and thinking that this might be it. This might be the moment in Iran where there could be a lot of change. 1979 is being brought up. There is a lot of different things that are happening, and there's one administration, obviously, that I think the Trump administration gets this right in so many different ways. One of the ways is exactly what took place in Venezuela, and making sure that, as opposed to the way things have been in the past, with regard to regime change, if you want to call it that. And listen, when you've got China and Russia and Iran in the Western Hemisphere close to us, countries that are not fans of ours, that if you're going to do something like regime change, then the way to do it is different than the experts have told us, because every time you do things like the experts tell you to do, you end up getting in a pretty bad place. You know what I mean? It's a bad thing.
Dr. Fauci, give us vaccines.
No, that's okay. I don't want any. But anyway, the point is that when you listen to the experts, sometimes it doesn't go very well. But anyway, many people are talking about what is going on there, what happened with Venezuela. And I did get a message from somebody over the weekend who sent me a tweet that I just wanted to mention quickly, because as they were talking about, it's not even for Trump as much human rights as it is the geopolitical area that we're talking about, is to make sure that the world understands, the country understands our influence, and to make sure we have companies that are able to do business and they are secure. They're not being taken away by rogue leaders in certain countries. And all of a sudden you have American companies that are being taken over, and we're not going to do that anymore. And so it's just as much making sure that that is secure as it is about the human rights issues that are going on there. So it's a little of both. And again, before we move on, the fact that the president decided and made this happen this way, in other words, taking Maduro and his wife out while leaving leadership there so that the country can continue to operate under the guise that, look, we're keeping an eye on you, and in the future there will be democratically held elections, and we'll see what the people decide, as if they haven't decided already. They decided multiple times already in the past, but this time it's going to be different. That is a good thing. And one of the things that got brought up, and I thought this was interesting, was over the weekend you had Fox News and you had Peter Doocy, who was talking about the weapon that was being used. And that was a big story. And I want to see if I can find what it was that he was describing over the weekend, because it's a weapon that was used that nobody has ever seen before, the likes of which the world hasn't seen before, this country didn't know about as well, where the soldiers were getting sick, vomiting and the like, and it literally was something that I guess Peter Doocy knew about, or something like it, the weapon that the U.S. used to capture Maduro, which terrified the Venezuelan guard. And this is the way he described it when he was doing a news report back in 2013. And they wanted to show him this sonic weapon that they had. This was 13 years ago.
The military says the active denial system is not radioactive, it's not a microwave, and it's not a laser beam. It's instead a man-sized beam of millimeter waves that can be fired from up to 1,000 meters away, that are designed to get the subject, whoever's standing on this X, really hot so that they move.
So he stands there and he's waiting, and then all of a sudden this pulse comes.
And it's about 50 degrees out here right now, but I just felt like it was about 1,000. And I've never been inside a tub that somebody dropped a hairdryer in, but I would imagine that that's what it feels like.
Wow. So that was pretty incredible, hearing that report and what the U.S. military was using in Venezuela. And then the talk pivoted to a lot of what could be happening now in other places around the world, including Cuba, because they are going to be affected by what is going on in Venezuela. And Tim Burchett Representative Tim Burchett was confirming about what's going on with the Cuba regime just a little while ago. He mentioned this.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett at the airport, going to head to D.C. Hey, I saw where President Trump was putting pressure on Cuba by shutting down Venezuelan oil. Now, what he's done is, it's really a masterful move. He's cutting off oil. You know, China was there. There was no mistaking that timing. They're clearly going to make a move on Taiwan, and they need that oil. Russia needs that oil. And Trump took it over and seized it, and I guess embargoed it, I guess is what they say.
And that's part of what was going on, as Tim Burchett was talking about. This might be the time. The Cuba regime might fall as well without firing off a single shot because of what he has been able to do, denying them oil, and then obviously not being able to have that connection with Venezuela. A masterful move, cutting off the oil, knowing that China was there. And so he stopped Cuba from getting it. Now Cuba used to cost Russia $1 million a day to keep them alive. And now they're bogged down in Ukraine. But Trump seizing the oil, stopping the flow to Venezuela for the first time realistically, have a chance of making that regime change in Cuba. And for a lot of people, that is big, 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 big news. No doubt about it. So that was really good to hear just a little while ago. All right, let's pivot here at Florida's Voice. 866-588-8303 is the phone number. A lot going on here in the state of Florida. The governor of the state, Ron DeSantis, a little earlier today was announcing some of the big moves that were going on with rate reductions for insurance policyholders. Now, there's probably a lot of people that are listening to the sound of my voice are like, wait a second, are we going to start seeing this? Are we really starting to now feel it's tangible that we have rate reductions in lowering insurance costs here in the state? Because I was told that it was impossible. It was never going to happen. There was no way to make this happen because of all the hurricanes that we've had the past few years. There's no way that companies are going to come back to the state of Florida. Until the legislature a few years ago did some very important tort reform. And also, business is business. There are always going to be, as long as it's a friendly place to do business, which Florida is, there is always going to be opportunity. And so that has happened. And so the governor was making this announcement a little earlier today about the rate reductions, especially with citizens. And this is good stuff.
Historic reductions, particularly for South Florida policyholders, including Monroe County. So the vast majority of citizens, policyholders will receive a significant reduction. The statewide average will be 8.7% reduction. Of those, over 150,000 will see their rates drop by more than 10%. Here in South Florida, Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach, average reduction will be 13.4%, as this area was the center of the litigation abuses.
That's kind of a big deal, everybody. So the largest cuts target South Florida. So we're talking about Broward and Miami-Dade homeowners. So you're looking at just about a 14% reduction in your homeowner's insurance costs. And Citizens property insurance policy holders, it looks like there's going to be a drop of about 8.5 to 8.7% starting in the spring. So there are big changes that are underway right now here in the state. And as the governor mentioned, and I think I have the audio before we go to break, and let me see if he talks about this.
Miami-Dade, 42,000 homeowners seeing an average reduction of 14%. Palm Beach, 26,000 homeowners, average reduction 11.9%.
Yeah, and he goes on to say that, look, you've never seen rate reductions like this, certainly with citizens at this level, anytime in modern memory that anyone can talk about. Now, it could be true, but I'll tell you this. It's the legislature that knew that they had to do something a few years ago with tort reform on this to make sure that you weren't going to have out-of-control frivolous lawsuits going on in a lot of different ways with insurance, and then some of the fraud that was happening, clamping down on that as well. So there's been a lot of good that has happened here in the state. And so I just wanted to bring this up because I think it's an important point. there's always someone who's going to say it's never going to happen. Like, you're never going to see insurance come down in the state. You're never going to see changes because people are afraid of the state. They don't want to be here. They're worried about storms, and then companies are worried about doing business. No. It's, as long as you make it friendly for business, they'll be here, which we've done. And more people are coming to the state of Florida. You telling me that insurance company is going to be like, nah, the biggest growth in Florida in the country, and we don't want to be a part? Of course they do. All right, more live from Seed to Table coming up.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
So Lollipop Star is a lollipop where
as you eat it, you start hearing the music and you enjoy music while you're enjoying the lollipop. It uses bone conduction technology. So from the back of your mouth, you'll start to feel the different vibrations that go up into your ear.
Whoa, wait a second. Okay, so the annual Worst in Show Awards were given out at CES, the electronics show there. And usually they have great things that are going on. By the way, Dee, you don't have a microphone today, right? Just checking. If you tried to talk right now, nothing comes through, right? I just want to make sure, because I don't hear you. Okay. So CES, the electronics show that goes on, where you'll find out about the latest big 300-inch TV that you can have in your living room that's like as thin as a piece of paper, that kind of stuff. So they were tracking all the different gadgets and everything that they come up with, like the latest gadgets. And that was a person who was talking about a company called Lollipop Star. And I guess what happens is when you lick the lollipop, as the lollipop gets smaller and smaller, it plays music and it uses bone conduction. Like those headphones that you wear sometimes that they don't go in your ear. They go on top of your ear and they're bone conducting, right? So I guess it's bone conducting in the lollipop. And then this way, you're able to, I don't know. So you look at a lollipop and hearing music at the same time. Why anybody would want that, I don't know. But I would say that probably is the worst in show. Very nice. Or not, I would say. Woo! 866-588-8303 is the phone number anytime you want to call. We would love to hear from you. We are live from Oaks Farm Seed to Table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road. We're in Naples today, southwest Florida. It's just less than an hour and a half drive across the alley. If you want to stop by and hang out with us, we would love to see you here. And coming up, we're going to play some more audio and some of the things that went on this weekend, including the award shows. I don't know if you know this, but the Golden Globes were on last night. Of course you don't know because you don't watch award shows. You have a life. Did I say that out loud? I did. And so, as you could imagine, the award shows were taking their time to let everybody know that, when it comes to awards and Hollywood, we're very, very influential. So we have to continue to make political statements because it worked so well the last time. So nobody ever. But here we go. So you had just this little bit of audio. Mark Ruffalo was wearing a Be Good pin at the Golden Globes in honor of Renee Nicole Good. And so he had a few comments to make about this, which again, I'm trying to escape from politics by watching the Golden Globes and Hollywood, and they suck you right back in.
This is for her. This is for the people in the United States who are terrorized and scared today. I know I'm one of them.
Well, you shouldn't be. There's no reason for you. Why? Why are you terrorized? What are you worried about? Why are you scared? No, seriously, Mark Ruffalo, why are you scared? Can you articulate why you should be scared right now living in this country? Like, what is it? Please inform me, explain what it is.
I love this country, and what I'm seeing here happening is not America.
Well, it's an America that cares about law and order. I would hope that Mark Ruffalo would care about that. Like if somebody were to break into his home, I'm sure that he would want law enforcement there, especially if they were threatening him and his family. I think, again, when it comes to the left in this country and what we have to decide is when it comes to law and order, do we want it? And then what does it look like? And if people are breaking laws, are we able to do something about that? Or does it mean that if they are a part of a group, quote unquote, where the left puts you in a box, I don't put you in a box, but they do, that if you're in a certain groove, in a certain box, that this box can't be touched under any circumstance? Oh, okay. No, we're not doing that. Anyway, we'll have more coming up. My name is Drew Steele. We are live at Seed to Table in Naples today on Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way. No way. No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Congratulations on your show. Congratulations on your new show. Big deal, huh?
That's why shows like yours are so important. We have an independent county elected sheriff that's the head of law enforcement in Jacksonville/Duval County. And I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the West Coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do. And
thank you for giving us a voice.
For being out there helping to keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for your support for veterans in the military. Educating us. Standing up for conservatism. Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hey, everybody. So glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele. Big D is back at the studio on the other side of the glass. I'd say Nina's in the breaking newsroom, but she's not because she's floating around here someplace. Where are we? Where's here? We are live at Seed to Table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road in Naples. So we are in Southwest Florida doing the show live. We're on the road. And so if you're in Charlotte, Lee, Collier, Glades, Hendry counties, and you want to stop by I-75 off Immokalee Road right there, it's easy to get to. Also, if you're across the alley and you want to hang out with us, maybe you're in Weston or Coral Springs or, I don't know, Delray. I love Delray, by the way. So you can come by and hang out with us as well, because we've got a lot going on today. It's a busy news day. I didn't expect it was going to be so busy, but it really is. It's so busy that Brendan Leslie has decided that he has to sit with us today. He is, what do we say? Founder, CEO, big boss, big dog. What do we say?
Just the guy that pays the bills so that everyone can enjoy a real conservative news outlet.
Yeah!
Here in the beautiful state of Florida. Hello, Seed to Table. Hello, Florida, all our great affiliates. I'm very happy. We are back, as always, second Monday here at Seed to Table. How are you doing, Drew?
Yeah, we are awesome. All right, so where do you want to start? Do you want to start with a little bit of the Florida news? Where do you want to go?
I feel like if we're here at Seed to Table, the biggest story, one of the biggest non-political stories in the state of Florida, and it's a local one for Southwest Florida, is the fact that Wink News fired Chief Meteorologist Matt Devitt. Now, I love talking about this topic because a lot of you remember, I wasn't fired. I was forced to quit Wink News. I was a political reporter for them a few years ago. And it was because every single day they were ostracizing me for my conservative values and wanting to tell the conservative stories, because we have great conservative leadership here in Southwest Florida. They always said, no, you should interview the people that are at the commissioner meetings complaining. The same 5 paid liberals that go to every meeting, don't have a life, are probably being paid secretly from some George Soros funded group. And I never wanted to tell those stories, so I ended up quitting Wink, built Florida's Voice. Everyone laughed at me. The rest is history. We're here on a random Monday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and there's like 150 people here to hear the real news. So ha-ha to you, Wink. And secondly...
Wait, when are you going to start telling us what you really think, Brendan? Just asking. Go ahead.
I don't hold back ever, especially when it comes to this subject, because it's near and dear to my heart. But Matt Devitt, Chief Meteorologist, this guy became a living legend with the way he steered and guided us through Hurricane Ian in Southwest Florida. He was the #1 meteorologist. He is the #1 meteorologist in Southwest Florida, and dare I say, perhaps the whole state of Florida.
Yeah.
So out of the blue, Wink News fired him.
Yeah.
Well, just so happens, I'm good friends with Matt, have inside sources in Wink as well. They fired him, get this, because he took a 2-hour-long lunch break to go home and help his wife with his newborn baby.
What?
That's why they fired him. That's the reason they gave to him. And Matt works 50-plus hours a week. It's not like he's shorting them on hours.
Wow.
So that was the excuse they gave him. Now, I'll give you the story that is probably more accurate.
Okay.
They just hired a new news director. From what I hear is she's a raging liberal. Raging liberal.
Oh,
She's
boy.
crazy, wants control, doesn't like people like Matt, who is not a raging liberal,
Right.
who is respected, and she was just trying to get control. Matt's contract was ending in April, so she just wanted any excuse to fire Matt sooner rather than later, so she can start instilling her views on things. So it's a raging liberal controlling the narrative and one of the largest news stations in one of the largest
Republican
reddest districts in the entire state of Florida.
Which makes zero sense.
Oh, it makes all the sense to the liberals.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Help me make it make sense for me in that world. You know, it is one of those things where, look, if you're looking at things from a business perspective and you see that you live in the most Republican area, definitely in the state, and in some cases it's very impressive in the country, you would do everything and anything that you can to cater to who's in the said area. Right.
That's what I do as an owner of a news station.
Yeah.
And Wink just doesn't do that. I mean, it just goes to show you. It continues to reassure us that the mainstream media does not care about their viewers. They only care about whatever they think is right. They don't care about listening to the people. It takes years to garner what Matt has in such a short amount of time with the trust of the viewers.
Yeah.
And how is it a good business decision to fire literally the face of reason and calm during Hurricane Ian just a few years later and tell us this is the right decision? It's not. It's the wrong decision. I get people on Twitter going, oh, it's corporate America. People get fired all the time. It's apples and oranges. This isn't just some random accountant who lost his job because they wanted to hire someone younger and cheaper out of college. This is more than just being corporate America. This is about protecting people, about getting the real information out there.
And that's an important, I don't want people to miss this because, listen, if you're listening across the state of Florida and you're talking about a local news guy, is that a big deal? Well, let's just put it this way. Newt Gingrich put out on his X account, what's going on with Matt Devitt? It's kind of a big deal that Newt Gingrich even notices that this is happening.
Well, you know why that's interesting?
Well, I'll get to that in just a second. But before I get to that, here's the other part of it. Is that, when you look at what's going on in the media and you look at what's going on with meteorologists in particular, these are the individuals that you have to have for years and years. Think about all the chief meteorologists that have been around in a market that you live. Just think of wherever you are across the state of Florida or across the globe if you're watching at FL Voice News, YouTube, Rebel X, and Facebook. Okay. Think about it. That chief meteorologist is usually the person that's there for decades. Yeah. Literally, you watch them grow old, and then all of a sudden it's like, I gotta go now. Like that kind of thing. Like that. It's a long time they're there. Why? Because you're building trust. You're building trust. So why all of a sudden would that flip? It just seems odd that you would take somebody out when you're trying to build the trust that he has built. So there's that. All right, and you wanted to mention one other thing?
I'm telling you, it's a raging liberal running Wink News who wants control, doesn't like Matt for whatever reason, and she thinks she knows better than all of us. She has lived here for like 5 months, maybe. I don't think she's from here.
Yeah.
I know they got her from a different area, and it was really weird because when I worked at Wink, it was Jim Farrell was the chief meteorologist, and it was Matt right below Jim.
Forever.
And Jim is great in his
been
own
there
right
forever.
as well. Jim was also forced into retirement by Wink. And then they propped up Matt. They wanted Matt to be the chief meteorologist. And then, that was like 7 years ago, and we're already cutting bait with Matt because this lady who's been in Southwest Florida for 5 months thinks she knows better than everyone else? Yeah. No. Listen, if you want to boycott Wink, if you ever want to boycott and really stick it to the mainstream media, the best thing you can do, don't turn them on. Don't turn them on. Block them on social media. Less ratings means less money. meaning they're going to feel it. And I think they're going to feel it because this is the talk of the region. I went to a restaurant on Saturday night with my non-political friends. Everyone at the bar was talking about it. Matt Devitt, again, mainstream media, just keeps showing us their true colors. And then the Newt Gingrich thing is very interesting. Why is the former Speaker of the House in Congress speaking out against this? I mean, he does live in Naples. He has a house here in Naples. And I think there's a deeper meaning to it because if you remember, but if everyone in the audience and everyone listening to my voice, the owner of Wink News is Jim Swartzel. Jim Swartzel is running for Congress to replace Byron Donalds as a Republican. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and blame Jim, but it's interesting. He does own it, so he should. You're guilty by association. That's happening underneath you. That's a question he's going to have to answer when he's moving forward, trying to take over Byron's seat.
And I think there are probably people that have an interest in others that are running in the race that might want to muddy up things as well. I mean, it's the nature of the business, and that's what happens. But anyway.
Let's a positive. Let's end this story on a positive note. I think Matt Devitt getting fired opens the door for a possibility of Florida's Voice Weather Department featuring Matt Devitt.
Whoa!
I don't know. I think Matt Devitt.
The audience loves the idea.
I think Matt Devitt, I'm going to have a conversation or two with him, and we'll see what happens. Maybe by next show we'll have some details on that. But also remember, Florida's Voice is expanding nationwide with Right Line News, so I'm going to need a weatherman all over the place. Who better than Matt Devitt? I'm just saying.
You're going to need a weatherman all over the place. All right, Brendan Leslie joining me, Drew Steele, here at Seat the Table in Naples. We're doing the live show today, and we are really appreciative of everybody. Alfie Oakes is amazing, and we're so happy that he invites us to be here every second Monday of the month. We appreciate it. All right, so a couple of other things. Hey, I don't know if you know this, but there are more people running for governor here in the state of Florida. Did you know that? Did you hear about this?
I did not hear that.
I said there are more people running for governor here in the state of Florida.
I don't even know how many people in this room even knew it had. Raise your hand if you heard there's another candidate for governor that announced today. Drew, how many people raised their hand? 4. There's 150 people in this room, and only 4 people heard the news today. You can't hear me. All right, we're gonna turn it up. But I had 2 hands. We got like 50 people right here in the front. 2 people raised their hands about the fact that we're gonna have a new candidate running for governor, and that is the Florida Lieutenant Governor of Florida, Jay Collins. He officially announced today that he's running. Now, what's interesting about that, Drew? What are you pointing at here? Oh, we're going to get headphones. Anyways, what's interesting about Jay Collins is no one knows who he is. He's polling in 3rd place behind James Fishback. They just spent $3 million on advertising and putting him on TV in Orlando and Tampa Bay. And after spending all that money on advertising, he ended up only getting worse in the polling. And a guy named James Fishback, who also no one knows, is polling better than him. But this race is still Byron's to lose. Byron has got 50% of voters. He is leading in every single poll. He's got way more money than anyone. I just don't see how anyone can beat Byron Donalds at this point.
All right, let me turn my mic back on again. Go ahead. Can you hear me now? Now you hear me. Good. Okay. Yeah, so I think the latest poll had single digits? Is that what it was for just about everybody, I think?
You got Byron Donalds at about 50%. When they find out that Donald Trump has endorsed Byron, it shoots him up to like 68, 70%. And then you got Paul Renner, James Fishback, Jay Collins all polling at like under 5%.
Right. And also, did you want to go anyplace else with some of the things that have been happening with regard to this?
I'm an open book. Ask me.
By the way, for those that don't know, Brendan Leslie, the founder, CEO of Florida's Voice, and he is not shy about anything. I've learned a lot about you in the past couple of years. But anyway, so look, it's making its way around social media. I guess James Fishback retweeted and then commented on something that was put out about Byron Donalds, and it was a comment that he made. Do you want to be specific about what he said?
Before I get into the James Fishback's comments that he makes about Byron, for the people that can hear me, because there's a lot of people here and a lot of people talking and enjoying themselves at the bar back there, raise your hand if you've ever heard of the name James Fishback. Be honest. Again,
Okay, right. Not a lot of
Not
people.
a lot.
Okay.
Vast majority. I know you've heard of it. There was one more hand. Again, 10% of the room maybe raised their hands.
Yep.
James Fishback is this guy running for governor as a Republican who is running a super online race. He thinks whatever is happening on X is real life. And I got newsflash for him. It's not.
Yeah.
And what James Fishback is doing on X is saying all the most ridiculous things he can say, not because he's actually a racist or he actually hates Jewish people. I don't believe that. I don't think he is the way he's perceiving to be. He's doing it because he's doing what is called, what the kids say is rage baiting. He's a young lad, this guy. He's 30 years old. He's younger than me. Like, he's a kid.
Yeah.
He's running like he is a kid.
He's younger than you?
He is younger than me. I was like, wow, he does not look good. But that's besides the point.
That's not very kind. Send your cartons of letters.
He says the most ridiculous, hateful things on Twitter, and he's doing it because he knows everyone is going to lose their mind. Everyone's going to talk about it. Everyone's going to report about it.
Yeah.
And that's why he's growing momentum on X. Again, we're here at a real live event with real live people. I asked how many people know him. Of those that can hear me, a handful raised their hands. The real life is he's a nobody.
Right.
He's just someone that is going to stir the pot on Twitter as much as he can because he gets instant gratification from all those clicks on Twitter. That's how a lot of politicians are, and it's really just crazy to me.
Well, look, I'll say this maybe before we move on, because there's a couple of different things. There are very deep dynamics that are happening here in the state of Florida, because James Fishback was just on Tucker Carlson's program. So
yeah, you can't knock him for that.
Right, and so he gets onto Tucker Carlson's program, and so you have, it almost feels like, it's a very strange dynamic again, but it's like Tucker Carlson dynamic versus the Donald Trump dynamic versus the DeSantis dynamic in who are you going to pick? Who are you going to side with?
DeSantis is in the Trump dynamic. I don't think DeSantis
I don't think so.
I don't think he has his own dynamic.
Not in the state of Florida. I think it could be different. It could be because there are enough people that are waiting to see what they're wondering why is it that the governor hasn't and has done quite the opposite when it comes to endorsing someone that the president of the United States has endorsed because he wants to endorse someone himself.
He wants to, but he doesn't have that person. Everyone thought he was going to endorse Jay
Collins,
but the governor had a press conference this morning at 10 a.m. and Jay Collins announced around 1 p.m. And when the governor was asked, because everyone was expecting the announcement.
Wait, I got that. Hold on, let me see.
We're going to play the audio. Basically, the governor was asked his thoughts on Jay Collins' expected announcement, and let's hear what the governor had to say this morning.
There you go.
Of course. Jay's a good guy. He served this country admirably as a Green Beret. He has a great conservative record in the Florida Senate. I don't know what he's going to announce or not announce. My role, obviously, I'm focused on the state of the state and some other things. If I get involved in the primary, you'll know it. It'll be at a time and place of my choosing, and so we'll see.
We'll see.
What stood out to me about what Ron DeSantis said this morning was, I don't know if he's going to announce or not announce. Well, what do you mean you don't know if you're lieutenant governor? Your hand-chosen heir apparent is going to announce or not announce. What do you mean you don't know?
Well, he knows, and again...
No, hold on. No, we're not going to speculate. No, we don't speculate.
Okay, we don't speculate.
He said, almost, I'm paraphrasing, but almost exactly, I don't know if he's going to announce or not announce. You got to take him for his word. Don't speculate. Someone on Twitter was like, oh, he doesn't want to get ahead of Jay Collins. Okay, you can deflect any other way. He's literally saying, I don't know if he's going to announce because Jay and Ron have been having a falling out behind the scenes for a while now. Jay Collins he took a long time to announce because he wasn't getting the Ron DeSantis affirmation.
That's the point I'm trying to make. In other words,
what dynamic is that? The voters don't care. The voters care who Donald Trump endorses.
But everybody knows that when the president of the United States said full-throated endorsement, here we are, it's Byron Donalds, he's the guy. If there is no difference between a DeSantis and Trump's support when it comes to endorsements, and the governor doesn't do it. There's a difference between that. So the governor, it feels to me as if the governor wants to be the kingmaker, if you will. He wants to be the one to say, well, this is my person, this is where I want to go, and this is what you should do. Is that Casey? Is that Jay Collins? These are the questions that have been asked for the longest time. It wasn't when is Ron DeSantis going to get on board with Byron Donalds? That wasn't going to happen.
Listen, it's so silly. The only reason Ron DeSantis is not endorsing Byron Donalds is because it's a personal grievance between the two of them. Ron got really upset that Byron ended up endorsing President Trump right out of the gate for the presidential primary instead of Ron DeSantis. Ron felt he had a good relationship with Byron, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
That's where that all comes from. But listen, Ron, as much as he hates Byron, I see him potentially just staying out of it completely. He doesn't want to help Byron, but he doesn't have to go against Byron and waste all his political capital when he's looking at a 2028 run or perhaps a future job in a future administration. I don't know. But if he goes against Byron with a guy that is polling in single digits and not fundraising, why risk it? Why risk all the capital for a sure thing that's going to lose?
Okay. It's Brandon Leslie who is hanging out with me, Drew Steele, here at Seed to Table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road in beautiful Naples. If you don't know Brandon Leslie, the CEO and founder of Florida's Voice, and somebody who doesn't mind telling you what he thinks, quite honestly, all the time, even off the air, I could say. In a good way, in a positive way. I'm saying that as a positive.
I try. Well, everyone gets the ring around in politics these days, and no one is direct, and I feel like that's something we need more of.
Yeah.
So when people are direct to me in the political world, it's like a breath of fresh air. So that's what I aspire to be.
There's a difference between being hateful and being honest.
Yeah.
And if you're being honest about things, then it's your fault that you're getting mad for me for being truthful.
People are always like, oh, how can you hate the Green Beret, former Green Beret, Jay Collins? I was like, I don't hate him. I think he's a good guy.
Right.
But he's a bad political candidate. What do you mean he's a bad political candidate? I was like, look at every single data, statistical, analytical point you can look at. There's not a single thing backing Jay Collins. He doesn't have the money. He doesn't have the polling. He doesn't have the momentum. You know who does? Byron Donalds. It's not because I think Byron's the best candidate ever. It's just that's what the data says, and that's how I always steer our ship at Florida's Voice is follow the data.
Now, let me just remind everybody of this because we only have a couple of minutes before we go to break, okay? The reason why this race and what we're talking about is important is for obvious reasons across the state of Florida. If you're listening and you're like, I don't live in CD19, I hear all of these stories about what's going on. Well, when you had the U.S. House passing a bill to give billions of dollars to the insurance companies through Obamacare because they extended the subsidies for 3 years, you better care because you need to make sure that you have people that are elected that aren't going to do that. And they did. 17 Republicans ended up joining Democrats. And after the whole fight, after the opportunity to tell the American people about how bad the Obamacare subsidies. Wait a second, the Affordable Care Act. I thought it was affordable. Hey, Obama's name is on it. Why are we doing this? And it's terrible, isn't it? Yeah, it's awful. We have to subsidize it. If you subsidize something, then that means it can't stand on its own, and that's a bad thing. And so when you have 17, by the way, I was just going to play this audio of the president, but I don't have enough time. The president says he's threatening to veto this bill that's going to give these insurance companies and Democrats a win. And that's why you care about this, because it's important that we are focusing here in Southwest Florida on making sure we are going to elect people that aren't going to be one of the 17, and so should you, no matter where you are across the state or across the country. I'll give you the last word before we go to break.
He should veto it because I'm tired of Congress and D.C. kicking the can down the road and not fixing any sort of affordability issues. If Republicans want to win in 2026, you focus on affordability on across everywhere.
That's it.
That is it.
All right, we got to go to break.
I didn't know how much time we had left.
All right, Brendan Leslie, everybody. A nice round of applause. There you go. All right. Strata Air Conditioning and Heating are here when you need them most. They are fantastic across the state of Florida. If you're thinking, hey, I might need a Strata AC tune-up or I need a brand new unit, I am telling you, strataac.com. That's stradac.com. Reach out, find out more about their commitment to 5-star customer service and then some. So again, stradac.com. You ought to call Strata, license number CACO 43953. All right, top of the news from the Florida's Voice newsroom and more live from Seed to Table in Naples. My name is Drew Steele, and this is Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA, is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families, and one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's Rock Solid Countertops and More. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock Solid Countertops and More.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 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 855-SHARE-40.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection, and hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world, from bow and arrow to hook and bullet. As man evolved, our link to those traditions remain with them forever. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. The misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it, or leading a war against our heritage and their misguided policies and protests. They demonize hunters and belittle our way of life, the results of hunters leaving the sport in droves, while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wild lands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system, a system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you want to check out the program at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook, you can watch, you can listen across the state of Florida, FL Voice News, and then obviously you can check out the podcast, Florida's Voice with Drew Steele, the podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, blah, 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 wherever you get it. All right, we got top of the news right now from the Florida's Voice newsroom.
Top of the news, Florida's headlines.
All right, we have Anita Padilla. AP is in the Florida's Voice newsroom, and she's got the latest. Let's find out what's up. What's up?
There, Drew, topping the news right now. Florida Republican Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna in the spotlight after referring Fed Chair Jerome Powell to the DOJ for potential perjury. Now, remember, she referred this case back in July to the DOJ, but now it's actually happening. Powell says the Justice Department has served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, opening the door to a criminal indictment over his testimony on the Fed's $2.5 billion building renovation. Luna posted on social media saying, quote, "You cannot lie to Congress. That's called perjury." And then she shared her original letter detailing the alleged false testimony. Powell calls it political pressure from the Trump administration, but President Donald Trump told NBC News that he has nothing to do with the case and he is denying any involvement. We've got that letter and all the information if you want to head over to our website to see it for yourself. And speaking of President Trump, he signed a new executive order. This one deals with Venezuelan oil money held here in the United States. The order blocks courts from seizing those funds and keeps them in Treasury accounts. The White House says the move is about protecting national security and promoting stability in Venezuela. Hey, remember that January 6th rioter who went viral for hauling Nancy Pelosi's lectern around the Capitol? Well, he's now running for office here in Florida. Adam Johnson is campaigning for Manatee County at-large commissioner, and he calls himself a conservative fighter. Johnson pleaded guilty to entering a restricted building. He did serve 75 days in federal prison and was fined $5,000, but he retains the right to hold public office because his conviction was considered a misdemeanor. He chose the 5th anniversary of January 6th attack to file. His campaign says he wants to defend MAGA principles and take on local corruption. All right, that's it for now. Be sure to head over to our webpage and sign up for our daily emails. Just go to flvoicenews.com and sign up like thousands of others have. I'm Anita Padilla, the news director here at Florida's Voice. Now back to the live show at Seed to Table with Drew Steele.
All right, AP, we appreciate you there in the Florida's Voice newsroom. Anytime you want to check out the work that they're doing in the Florida's Voice newsroom, it's simple. You go to flvoicenews.com. That is the website. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a nice round of applause. Here he is. It's Conservative Ant hanging out with us right now, everybody. Come on. Come on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thanks, everybody.
I like that. I did. Come on. And you're like, thanks. It's so nice.
Well,
I appreciate you.
yeah.
You're very mellow. What happened? You got.
I forgot that I can hear them or they can hear me. I think that's what it was. I was like on my own radio show by myself.
No, they can hear you.
There's not an audience here. What are you talking about?
Yeah, right. Nobody's in front of us. Well, first of all, I wanted to ask you, because You've got this huge social media following, okay, and obviously people are asking you different things about what's going on in the news. You know, you look at what's going on in Minnesota and what took place, and then obviously the rioting that was. It feels like a lot of this is being paid for. It's an amazing thing, especially when you're local, right? And you're seeing some of the people that are out there.
Oh my gosh!
We were just talking about that off the air. Go ahead, just mention that.
Yeah, so it's funny to me because look. This weekend, we were enjoying the weekend. We had many different festivals going on here in South Florida. And then you look at what's going on in the rest of the country, and you're like, what a stark difference. Like, we're doing this and they're doing that, right? And then you look at the 7 or 8 protesters that are either in Collier County or standing on the corner of 41, and they're like really, really old. So I'm trying to figure out what they're mad about, who paid them, why they're there. Like, they have so many other things that they could be worried about. No offense, and this might offend people, and I don't care, but they're really not going to be here in the long run. Like,
well, I mean, technically, we're not all of us are. Not
I know, but like in the real long, like these people are like in the
short run, maybe.
Yeah, a lot of them can't walk, and yet they're on the corner of 41 in the sun, not having a good time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm wondering. What do they know that I don't?
Right.
Nothing. I have no idea.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe they need something to do. Maybe the money's good to supplement some of the, bingo night can be pretty expensive.
But, that's a rare thing. Like, that's the Florida thing.
Yeah.
But then you look at what's going on in Minnesota, and you're like, okay. Some days I wake up and I'm like, am I the one who's crazy? Like, no, there's no possible way, right? I think we've been there at one point during COVID where we're like, am I on the wrong side of this? And then you really look at it and you're like, no, this is insane, whatever this is going on.
Yeah.
And they're burning things down and nothing's going to get done. Nothing that they feel is working is going to work.
Right. By the way, in case you were wondering, this is my go-to. In case you were wondering whether we were right or wrong on COVID, there was...
Dr. Fauci... Give us vaccines.
Yeah, we were right. We were right all along.
I remember that guy. Oh, my God.
I'm leaving that
That's
alone.
another thing that liberals love to do. They love to sing. Like, they do this weird, cringy singing thing where they're standing outside of ICE facilities and they're singing. It's so weird.
And by the way, speaking of weird and cringy, maybe we should talk about what we were talking about off the air, on the air, because we do that kind of thing. Speaking of cringy, why is it that we have... women, white women, who seem to be, I don't know, like this one who was following around the Real America's Voice. By the way, they do amazing work, John Solomon and Real America's Voice, all of them, right? They do this great work. And this reporter's walking around because he wants to find out more about why they're protesting.
She looks like raw turkey.
And here she goes.
Legal immigration.
Big man.
Do you think U.S. taxpayers should be funding housing for illegals and medical care?
What a smart man. He is so intelligent. This man, he's got nothing to say. He's got nothing to say.
I can't do it.
I can't. Somebody come grab your mom. I always say that I don't know what it is about these women. They literally look like dried out turkey breasts. Like they look like they have zero seasoning to them. I don't know where we pull these people from. I'm hoping to run into them, and I never do. And it could be because we live in this beautiful place called Florida.
That's what it is. It's this beautiful bubble that we live in. But I just, what is it with the? I think it goes deep, and one day I will spend time on my program, and I think you should too on your social media sites, about why this has happened, about the depth of why you have so many women, especially, who are so just lately they're just so radical. You've got kids, you've got a family. Take care of your kids and your family, and don't block traffic. Don't do that. Like, there are plenty of things where it's like the old joke, it's I went to the doctor and I said, it hurts when I do that. He said, don't do that.
Right,
okay, that's the thing.
And to go back to like what I was talking about age, it's not a harp on age. Florida has an older demographic, that's fine. Like, they should be voting and doing something else. The generation of like our mothers, like the mom that took care of the family, the traditional family, right? They don't exist anymore. And these women, unfortunately a woman was shot, but she also put herself in the line of where she shouldn't have been at. She was interfering in whatever was going on.
Well, disrupting law enforcement,
Exactly.
which I thought was illegal. But of course, if you're a Democrat, nothing happens to you.
Right, and she drove 5 hours. She wasn't supposed to be there in the first place, but she drove 5 hours. Her kids weren't around. She's a mom, and people are like, well, she's a mother, and she's LGBT. Nobody knew that. All they saw was there was a person standing, almost running the officer over, ran him over, hit him, and then they're like, well, what happened? She didn't do anything wrong. She's a mother. Okay, nobody cares. Like, nobody knows about that.
Well, it's like when, for example, if I go to Ilhan Omar, who over the weekend,
she's so hard to watch.
Well, you don't have to watch her. You just have to listen to her today. You don't have to watch. So here's Ilhan Omar, who's being interviewed on Margaret Brennan on Face the Nation. Okay. And here she is when they're talking about the Somali fraud that
She's
went on.
another unseasoned chicken breast. The girl
Okay, so here you go with the Somali fraud taking place. Now listen to what she says.
Treasury Secretary Bessent called Minnesota ground zero for what may be the most egregious welfare scam in our nation's history to date. 85 of the 98 people who were charged by the Justice Department with this welfare scheme are Somali.
Okay, you're following this? 85 to...
Waiting for it.
Okay, 85 of the 98 people who were charged by the Justice Department with this welfare scheme are Somali. So wait for it, wait for it.
And you know this, the Treasury Secretary is probing whether any of the money was somehow funneled outside the country. He actually issued new standards.
By the way, we have enough proof to show that the millions of dollars in suitcases are JFK, the airport, going out to Somalia. That's a story I can pull up in just a second. So the evidence is there, but wait for it. Just wait for it.
We're waiting. It makes someone disclose if they receive public assistance when they try to wire money out of the country, and he's lowered the bar for suspicious activity. What is the practical impact of doing that in the community?
Okay, so the practical impact. So here's Ilhan Omar. She's got the answer now about the 85 of the 98 people who were charged by the Justice Department with this welfare scheme are Somali. Okay, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is.
It's just creating fear. What they are doing is creating confusion, chaos, trying to intimidate people from being able to exercise.
Can you pause that for a second? They're trying to intimidate people. She's literally yesterday in the middle of a street telling people that they need to continue causing havoc on their cities.
Right.
Is that not fear? Or is she not implementing fear in people? Or?
Exactly.
It's okay because it's her. Anyways, continue.
Yeah. Regular, normal activities that they would. There is no justification in any of the things that they say.
Okay, so there's no justification in any of the things, except for the fact that they were charged by the Justice Department and they just happen to be Somali. Does it make a difference? So the question is, if the left puts you in a box and says, you get a box, you get a box, you get a box, everybody gets a box that you get to be put in. You have to be put in because that's what the left does. And if you're in that box, then nothing can happen to you in that box, apparently. So, okay, I don't care where you're from. Did you commit fraud? That's my money. That was my tax dollars. That was my money. Did you commit fraud or not? I don't care if you're in that box. I care about where the money went. So it doesn't matter, Somali or otherwise. And that's what she's leaning into, is that this somehow is every Istanobia in the book. This is racism because, and that's what you do when you know there's no other place to pivot. But that's the kind of thing that we're trying to fight against.
Yeah, they deflect with the you're racist, you're phobic, you're this or that, whatever.
Yeah.
We don't care. Those words don't mean anything anymore. Yeah. What I'm curious about is right now we're seeing people across the country and they're protesting ICE, right?
Yeah.
They don't care? Like, they don't care that their money is being taken from them while they struggle. That's what I'm trying to wrap my mind around. How are you okay with giving her cousins your money while you can't even afford your own lifestyle? Why is that okay with you?
You just led me into what we're going to end with here before we go to break. Perfect. Listen to this. So here's Ilhan Omar, who's mad about the investigation of fraud, because listen to this. This is why she's mad.
I'm so exhausted in trying to ask what any of this information has led to you finding any criminals that you have indicted that explains why you are wasting so much of our taxpayer resources.
So that's Ilhan Omar saying.
Am I in a simulation?
No, it's like, is this reality? So that's Ilhan Omar who's saying, you're just wasting our taxpayer dollars. Well, wait a second. That's what we're investigating. That's you all in the fraud scheme. You've been wasting our tax dollars. Wait a second. So
I know. And her friends will go burn down a building today.
yeah, let's not do that. Okay, we have to head to break. But before we do, Conservative Ant hanging out with us here on Florida's Voice. If people want to find out more about you and what you're doing, where can they find you on social media and the like?
Conservative Ant on all platforms. We have also officialpatriotgear.com.
Yes.
Come and check out my store at Surfside Shops in Cape Coral.
It's a beautiful place. And I appreciate you hanging out here with us at Florida's Voice. Conservative Man, everybody, give him a nice round of applause. Come on.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a break. And when we come back, we will have more Scott Pressler in the house. And so he will be up with us in just a little while from now to talk about, who knows where we're going. I pretty much know where we're going to go, but you never know where we're going to go because it's Florida's Voice. And that's what we do. All right, anytime you want to call, 866-588-8303 is the phone number. Anytime you want to watch at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Insta, as the kids like to say, Instagram, and Florida's Voice with Drew Steele, the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts as well. All right, we are live at Oaks Farm Seed to Table in Naples today. It's Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move. When being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Sushi push pops.
I found it. I got the sushi. All right, we pull this container out and we literally pour a little bit of soy sauce. Okay, then we stick the bottom here and we push up.
Well, what is this? What? Hold on a second. So, I guess this is something that is viral right now. Sushi push pops. And this was somebody, that was audio of somebody who was trying it for the first time on social media. Speaking of social media and somebody who knows the thing, Nina's usually, come here. Nina's usually, just grab the mic. Nina's usually in the breaking newsroom. And so anybody who doesn't believe that Nina exists, here's Nina from the breaking newsroom. So she exists. All right, so you're very familiar with what's on TikTok.
Yes, I am.
I guess you are. What's a sushi push pop?
So I've seen it in New York. It's like a little tiny tube that has sushi stacked inside. And you start from the bottom, you start pushing it up, and you're able to just take a bite out of it and enjoy.
Why would you do that?
I mean, it's something different out of the ordinary, and that's why things go viral on TikTok all the time, because you've never seen it before.
All right, what's the thing that you've seen on with the youths of America that they're looking at on TikTok that everybody's talking about right now that we can get ahead of the game? What's the big, just for the youths of America?
Besides the sushi push up?
Yeah. Is that it? So in other words, on TikTok, the youths of America, all they care about is the sushi push pop. Do they care about anything else?
I mean, all of my feed is political.
Okay,
so
good. All right, so that's fine. Okay. Have you tried the sushi push pop?
If it was here in Florida, I would try it right away.
Okay. Yeah, you are a, just for people that don't know about Nina in the breaking newsroom, you are a, I'll try it. I'll eat that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Japan, Hong Kong.
Yeah.
More places to go that I'd love to have sushi at, but we'll see.
Okay, show off. Okay, you got to go. Okay, that's Nina from the breaking newsroom who's showing off now, talking about her many trips. So, I don't know. I heard sushi push pop. I would ask Dee, but Dee's back at the studio, and he can't hear me. So, well, he can hear me, but he just can't answer. All right, what else do we have going on here at Florida's Voice? Let's see, before we hit break. All right, one thing. Let's, how about this? This is a little bit of good news. So just a little while ago, about an hour ago, our own Eric Daugherty, Eric L. Daw, D-A-U-G-H, on X, posted this from the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, who was talking about the Department of War and, those little boats, the narco boats that were cruising around, making their way to the United States. Well, it sounds like, listen.
The waters, we will target your drug boats and we will sink them. There haven't been many boats sunk recently because we can't find boats to sink. Because no one wants to get in a narco boat, which is the whole point. Stop sending your drugs to our country and poisoning the American people.
There you go. How about that? So, whoa, come on. That's a round of applause and a... Yeah. Thank you. And a little trumpet fan. That's the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, saying, listen, see what happens when you enforce borders and the law and the like, and we're all concerned about the narco trafficking boats, and now they're like, maybe we shouldn't do that anymore. Yeah, that's a good idea. Don't do that anymore. So nobody wants to get into a narco boat, which is the whole point. So they're having problems right now finding the boats. That's a good problem for us to have. No doubt about it. So we're watching what's going on with that, among other things. And then in just a little while, we will talk more about Iran, which is one of the biggest stories.
Like something this.
Okay. There's a lot of news out of Iran today. There's also a lot going on with Republicans, and some of it's good, some of it's not so good when it comes to some of the things that they're doing, and then a lot of the things that they're not doing. Like, for example, many people on social media have been saying, when are we going to see people perp walked? Because we had a lot of Republicans that were arrested under the Biden administration, and in the meantime, I see a lot of zeros with people who should be under arrest. And what's the DOJ doing? And, well, hopefully we can talk about that. Scott Pressler coming up.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way. No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Congratulations on your show. Congratulations on your new show. Big deal, huh?
That's why shows like yours are so important. We have an independent county elected sheriff that's the head of law enforcement in Jacksonville/Duval County. And I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies, where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move. When being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the west coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do. And
thank you for giving us a voice.
For being out there helping to keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for your support for veterans in the military. Educating us. Standing up for conservatism. Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hey, everybody. So glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele, Big D, back at the studio on the other side of the glass. And Nina's walking around here at Seat the Table in Naples. That's where we are. We are broadcasting live right now. If you want to watch, at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Instagram. And anytime you want to check out the program after hours, Florida's Voice with Drew Steele, the podcast. What a big day today we've got right now. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. It's Scott Pressler. Come on. Scott is saving the country one state at a time, pretty much, at this point. There's no doubt. I mean, people probably say that to you all the time. I mean, right, when they're talking to you about what has been going on in their areas. You know, we live in a great state, obviously, and I never want to get too complacent because, you know, when you get complacent, bad things happen. But you must go into states, like even recently, where you're discovering things are just shocking when it comes to the election process in certain places with things that are going on. I mean, what's it been like?
Well, what is in the news now? Minnesota. And of course, we want to give a shout out to Nick Shirley for his investigative journalism in the state of Minnesota.
Yes.
Now, I knew Minnesota was funky, and I've known about some things that have been going on for years, but timing matters. So while Minnesota was trending, I exposed that in that state, one registered Minnesota voter can vouch for up to 8 persons without an ID. So if I go in there, if Brendan and Patrick and all of us are living in the same neighborhood, I, as the registered voter, could vouch for you, and you won't need an ID, you won't need proof of citizenship, and you can just literally sign an oath and you'll be given a ballot. And so, this is breaking news. The reason why I don't look as cute today and my hair isn't done is we broke a story in Michigan that the Macomb County clerk has put out a press release as of 2 hours ago that they have discovered non-citizens couldn't serve jury duty because they were not American citizens. Some of those people have been allegedly registered to vote, and some of those people have even allegedly voted. And so for the first time, we are not conspirators. We actually have proof, we have data. And Jocelyn Benson, we want to know why, Secretary of State, you have allowed non-citizens to be able to register to vote. That is my question to the Secretary, Jocelyn Benson in Michigan.
So literally what this did was call out the fraud, called it out, because would this have been discovered if it wasn't for that moment, if it wasn't for saying that they couldn't be on jury duty, even though they almost like called themselves out with this. It's almost like they exposed their own fraud in this case.
Exactly. Well, and more importantly, it's so important, and God bless Elon Musk, God bless the fact that we have social media now, because if it weren't for being able to disseminate information like on this radio program right now, then everything would be muddied and glossed over by the media. I want every person to know, if you have a camera, if you have a phone, you are the new media. We don't need CNN and ABC and Rachel Maddow. We need concerned citizens exposing fraud and rooting out corruption in our country.
So that is absolutely. And it's so important now because I think that more and more there are people who want to do whatever they can to shut down your voice, shut down social media, because they know how powerful it is, because when people like you and Nick Shirley and others are out there and exposing the fraud and you're able to see it for yourself, there is no big three, only place to go for news anymore. Those days are long over, and the left knows this. They know that hopefully this is going to be how we win the battle, is about exposure, transparency, showing everything that's going on across the country. And that's why, we can't thank you enough for what you're doing. And I think that that's so important that we continue to do it. And I wonder what you think about when people say, because I'm the guy that says, like, I want to see people perp walked. I'm ready. I want to see people getting arrested. That's what I want. And I know there are people that feel the same way, obviously, but at the same time, there is something to be said about, yes, but if we expose them as well, it gives the American people the opportunity to say, okay, I know what the truth is. I know what's going on in my state. I want to make a difference right here, right now. Hopefully the convictions will be on the other side, but the transparency is a big deal too.
Well, I think what happened in Minnesota is a great case study. So Nick Shirley exposed the fraud. It went supernova viral, and it became unignorable. This wasn't just in the right side echo chamber that it was only conservatives talking about it. Everyone was talking about it, and so they were forced to address it. We now have ICE in Minneapolis and Minnesota. We have DHS. We have Kristi Noem. We have people making sure that any fraud, we're rooting it out. And the DOJ is even on it as well. And so I want people to understand, Nick's investigative journalism created now action from the administration that is going to lead to accountability. So never forget that you guys being transparent can ultimately hold people accountable. And what we did with the election integrity of exposing the vouching, the DOJ is now demanding data practices requests from the Secretary of State, Steve Simon, in the state of Minnesota. And my organization, county by county, is also submitting data practices requests. So we are going to be like a dog on a bone on this, and we are not going to let this go.
That's awesome. Scott Pressler joining us on Florida's Voice. We are live at Seed the Table in beautiful Naples, where I think I can say this with confidence that I think Scott's pretty happy to be in Naples as opposed to where he's been in the cold, frigid north. It's been pretty cold up there, obviously. But then it comes down to when we see all of these things happening, I mean, the hope is that as this gets exposed, that the people there in these areas are going to vote differently. I mean, the only reason why this happens is because there are elected officials that are allowing this to take place. There are people that are elected, for example, in certain states that aren't going to, like A.G. Ellison. There's no way he's going to follow the fraud. He's not going to do anything like this. So then a couple of things come to mind would be how much have you heard from people that say, because of what you've done, because of what you've exposed, we're ready to make a change here in this county, in this state? And by the way, at the lowest level, quote unquote, the county level, right? The city council level, the county commission level, I would assume that that's another place we have to keep an eye on when it comes to elections, because it seems like the left may not look at the big picture as far as national elections, but boy, if they can win locally, they win a lot because they get people like attorney generals and others. Have you heard from people about that?
Theoretically, you would think that people who are suffering under California, New York, Illinois, they move to Florida to get away from high property taxes, high crime, right? High spending out of you, taxing you into oblivion. But then some of those Democrats come into Florida and they still vote Democrat. On paper, what you are saying is how it should go, but I want to warn people, look at what happened in the November 2025 election. Jay Jones was exposed as an attorney general Democrat candidate, basically saying that some children should be, we'll say, hurt. I want to be very careful talking on the radio. And yet, Democrats still pulled the Democrat lever, and he is now going to be the next attorney general that was wishing harm on children in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Despite the Democrats' disapproval, despite the Democrats not having as much money as Republicans, despite them not having any message of hope, Democrats can still win this November. And so, as opposed to just reaching out to Democrats, 30% of Christians are not registered to vote. If we got every person of faith to vote their biblical values, we would never lose another election ever again. 30% of hunters are not registered to vote.
Yes.
If we got every Second Amendment enthusiast to register and to vote, we would never lose again. And so my mission is I want to get all these beautiful people at seat to table that love conservatism and freedom, and we need to get them registered, mobilized for the Tuesday, November 3rd, 2026 election, when we will also be picking a new governor in the great state of Florida.
Yeah, absolutely. So then you would agree with me that, because I've said this for the past couple of days, I've said it to people specifically who are running for office. I worry about in a state like Florida, where you have a supermajority, which is a nice thing if you can keep it. And sometimes there are Democrats who are like, I can't win in this state, so what do? I make them believe that I'm a Republican. So you would agree with that that is the kind of thing that there's... So to add to that, when it comes to like that kind of covert operation that goes on with the left, what's something else that keeps you up at night? Like the things that you're really concerned about?
Well, I'd say, just because you brought it up, we have a trifecta government here in Florida. You guys have worked tirelessly to have 1.5 million more registered Republicans than Democrats in the state. The Republican legislature needs to act like it. And so long as we have Governor DeSantis in charge, whatever Governor DeSantis' agenda is, i.e. redistricting, i.e. if he wants to abolish property taxes, the Republican state legislature needs to support the governor and get it done and stop withholding his ability to legislate. That's number one.
Right.
Number two, the single most important thing that we need in this country, the Democrats are talking about affordability. They're talking about housing. Listen, if we deport 20 million illegal aliens, there is no housing crisis in America.
Right.
So, the single most important thing we need to do right now is President Trump needs to continue to secure the border. His administration needs to continue the deportation, have peace, not war, strengthen our economy, secure our elections, and then we have the opportunity to win on Tuesday, November 3rd, 2026, and keep the House of Representatives so President Trump can continue his agenda. That is the most important thing of why I'm here in Florida right now. I want to support the president, keep the House this November.
Absolutely. So a couple of other things as you're traveling around the country, are there breakthroughs? Are there places that you're going where you're like, wow, this looks like an area that really can flip red? Like, this is something where the people have had enough, like it's tangible, like you can see what's going on. Are there places like that you're looking at?
In addition to breaking the story about Michigan non-citizens being registered allegedly to vote, in Pennsylvania, a state that we have made huge progress, the Democrats now have the lowest voter registration advantage in history in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. In 2012, it was 1.2 million more registered Democrats than Republicans. As of today, Monday, that number is down to 42,900 active voters.
Wow.
That is historic. We are going to turn Pennsylvania into the next Florida.
Ooh, I like the way that sounds.
Every Democrat just panicked who's listening to this right now. They just panicked.
Well, they should. And by the way, speaking of Pennsylvania, if you go back, I mean, you look at the what you were able to do single-handedly. I mean, let's be honest, what you were able to do together. You leading us into this direction. How about that in Pennsylvania? Okay, and the work that you have done. But then obviously keeping that momentum going, a place like Pennsylvania where that you see this ball that's rolling, and then you have people like Josh Shapiro, who, by the way, just in case anybody is wondering, Josh Shapiro is going to be one of the many Democrats that are going to run for president in 2028 as a moderate. There's nothing moderate about this guy. And I'm just trying to understand. So this is the person who is telling everybody in Pennsylvania, and he's still doing this, right? That he's just as anti-ICE as anybody else. So again, where's the moderate? Like that in and of itself, that doesn't sound like moderate. Are there other candidates that you're looking at around the state when you, the country, like Josh Shapiro, the people that maybe could be the chameleon, the one that's going to be, well, that person is definitely moderate. That person can get Republicans. Are there a lot of chameleons that you see?
I'm not focused on my opposition. Yes, just because I am a sadomasochist, I do watch The View. I know.
Oh,
don't even. But I'm focused on how we're going to build the road towards a successful 2028. Because ultimately, whoever controls 2028 controls the census and redistricting. That is going to decide whether or not Republicans have the presidency for the next 10 years, a decade. So, Florida, governorship. North Carolina, we got to pick up a Senate seat. Pennsylvania, we need to flip the governorship from blue to red. Wisconsin, Tony Evers is retiring. Opportunity to flip it from blue to red. Tom Tiffany is running for that. Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer is out. We have the opportunity to flip the governorship from blue to red over there. Arizona, we can defeat Katie Hobbs and vote for a Republican governor in Arizona. California, we have the opportunity. Newsom is going to be out. Thank the Lord in heaven. And so I'm focused on building the road and focusing on my conservative choices. The Democrats, they have no vision. They're just going to be supporting anti-ICE. They want an open border. They want illegal aliens. They want war across the world. This is our time that Republicans are adults in the room. I want to see us secure our elections, and every Republican legislature across the country should be focusing on abolishing property taxes and working on behalf of the people. Ohio, you got a governorship as well.
Yeah.
So you're going to see me traveling all over the country. And again, the Democrats, when you see long hair come into your state, just get ready.
Very nice. Maybe two more questions before we go. One is the SAVE Act. I keep talking about the SAVE Act. I know! Okay, for those that don't know about the SAVE Act, explain what it is, and then help me, help you, help me, help them, help you, help me, help me. Help me, really help me, why Republicans aren't jumping all over this.
Okay, so this is on the radio right now. We want the radio people to hear you guys at Seed to Table. Do you guys want secure elections going into 2026? The people demand secure elections. We have one voter can vouch for 8 people in Minnesota. We've discovered illegal aliens on the voter rolls in Texas. California sends out an automatic mail-in ballot to every single person in California. Oregon and Washington are only vote-by-mail states. They don't have in-person voting. Utah and Hawaii send out automatic vote-by-mail. Fraud and the potential for fraud are rampant in our country. The American people want and deserve fair elections. And so, the person holding this up right now is Senator Thune, your Senate Majority Leader. Once a day on my social media, I call him out peacefully, respectfully, politely. I never do any ad hominems. I focus on policy. I need you guys to join me every day and create so much support for the SAVE Act, which would require proof of citizenship to register to vote in our country. That, like Minnesota, we must become unignorable, and these people will be forced to address what we're talking about. Right. Pass the SAVE Act and get it done. We have elections this year.
Yeah, I just think it's so important. And before we go, the opportunity, once again, I just want you to mention this because I think it's powerful. Number one, I know we say all the time, this is the most important election, but it really, really is because of what this president is able to do now that is going to change at the snap of a finger if everything is different in 26. I'm not even talking 28. Forget 28, 26 right now, because if everything changes, then the agenda is going to change completely, because all the Democrats are going to do is focusing on impeachment, focusing on all kinds of things that are not going to help in any way, shape, or form what we've been able to accomplish. So I just want to make sure that we focus on that as we finish out here, the importance of focusing on what we can do, each one of us, to be able to connect with people that are in our sphere, because you have more control and more power than you believe when it comes to the people you know and the communications you're willing to have. What do we do, each and every one of us?
Well, I know you guys aren't going to like what I have to say, but I'm not in the business of pleasing you. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear.
Yeah.
If we wait to only vote on Tuesday, November 3rd, 2026, we are not going to be successful this November. And I preface this by saying, in 2022, why do we have Katie Habbs today? Why is she governor? The machines in Maricopa County, 60% of them had errors on what day in 2022? Election day. When do our beautiful Republicans vote? Election day. Why did Carrie Lake lose by 15,000 votes? Because, in part, we all waited to vote on one singular day. In Nevada, we lost an election when it snowed by 8,000 votes because we live in the mountains. Our people didn't come out to vote. In Luzerne County, Pennsylvania, they ran out of paper on Election Day. So many things can go wrong on Election Day that until we change our law, we have to use every legal avenue at our disposal to win elections. But unless we vote early in the state of Florida, we vote by mail for those that are not able to vote on Election Day, and we diversify the way we vote, then we are likely not going to be successful. That's why I have my organization, Early Vote Action, and I am barnstorming everywhere trying to get every single vote that I can. And just to seal the deal with you people, let me explain what we did in PA very briefly. Did you know, a lot of you probably know that we registered some thousands of Amish to vote in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
The Amish get married on Tuesdays in November. Did you guys know that? What happens on Tuesdays in November?
Election.
You know what we did? This is the untold story. We got the Amish to sign up for mail-in ballots and used a tool of the Democrats to send Donald J. Trump back to the White House. That is the power of using an all-of-the-above approach to voting. And so just know that my heart is in this to win this. I would not be here if I weren't loyal to our president. And I'm so glad to be here in Naples, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Scott Pressler, everybody, come on. That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so glad that you had a few minutes to join us here at Florida's Voice, and obviously to be here in Naples. And so much that is happening right now. And so, by the way, Scott, if people want to get more information on what it is, following you on social media and where they can follow you.
Thank you. My organization is earlyvoteaction.com, and all of my social medias are at Scott Pressler. Just look for the long hair. You'll find me.
Just look for the long hair coming to a state near you. All right, once again, appreciate Scott Pressler joining us here on Florida's Voice. 866-588-8303 is the phone number anytime you want to call. Anytime you want to check out the program, we're live right now at FL Voice News, YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Instagram. And anytime you want to check out the program after hours, Florida's Voice with Drew Steele, the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. All right, let's take a break. Top 5 audio clips of the day on the way. My name is Drew Steele, and this is Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's Rock Solid Countertops and More. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock Solid Countertops and More.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 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 855-SHARE-40.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection, and hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world, from bow and arrow to hook and bullet. As man evolved, our link to those traditions remain with them forever. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. The misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it, or leading a war against our heritage and their misguided policies and protests. They demonize hunters and belittle our way of life, the results of hunters leaving the sport in droves, while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wild lands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system, a system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead and in a changing world. You've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you want to check out the show at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook, as we are still live from Seed the Table in Naples. Scott Pressler talking to the audience, among others. A lot going on here in the live show. All right, time for the top 5 audio clips of the day. Let's see, it's my top 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Drew's top 5. Number 5.
Justices will hear arguments tomorrow in what's shaping up to be this high-profile case. Now, let's take the West Virginia case first, where we find transgender student athlete Becky Pepper Jackson. We've reported on Becky Pepper Jackson and this case for several years. Now it's just making its way to the Supreme Court. Pepper Jackson, born a biological male, sued in West Virginia to be able to play on girls' sports teams. She won and played, but then a state ban came into effect. Fox Digital recently heard from 2 students who say they were intimidated by Becky Pepper Jackson. The American Civil Liberties Union is representing the transgender student and says she's been unfairly attacked over the years. Now to the Idaho case originating with a transgender athlete named Lindsay Hecox, who originally sued to be able to play on women's sports teams at Boise State University. She has since asked the Supreme Court to block the case bill, citing intimidation and harassment, but the justices will decide if they will do so after oral arguments tomorrow. Now, if her case goes forward as the state requested. Now, depending, Bill and Dana, on how the Supreme Court rules by early summer, both sides in the socially divisive issue have promised to make this a major campaign rallying cry in this year's midterms, with the promise of major changes in federal laws over LGBTQ plus rights.
Wow, this is huge, and that's kind of huge election news too. So that was breaking a little earlier today. Eric Doherty had the story of the Supreme Court is about to consider upholding red state bans on men in women's sports, and the court is going to hear the arguments on trans athletes. And this is the thing, just like it was discussed on Fox News right there, is the fact that this is going to be a huge election year issue. And if the court decides to take this on, it is going to be something that's going to be decided. It's going to be watched. It's going to be listened to. And again, it could go either way. But it's one of those things like the Roe v. Wade decision that went down during an election year. it is something that's going to be front and center news.
Number 4.
I might, yeah.
All right, so in case you didn't hear that, I thought it was a little clearer than that, but it wasn't. So the president was being asked about the U.S. House just passing a bill to give billions of dollars to the insurance companies through their Obamacare extension. That's right, you heard that right. 17 Republicans joined with Democrats, betraying the president and extending the subsidies for 3 years. And again, is the president going to sign this or not? He's threatening to veto the bill that passed, and as well he should. But the fact that there are 17 Republicans who voted along with Democrats on this after everything we went through over the summer, and everything we had to go through with the shutdowns and why we did it and the discussion about Obamacare is another reason why you've got to keep track of what's going on in your communities, in your state, everything that's going on with regard to Republicans, and you've got to vet them, vet every single one of them. Even in the state of Florida, vet them.
Number 3.
This was a mother. This was a woman that even said, hey, I'm not mad at you.
Right. Literally seconds before she was shot.
But there is the reality is that there was a point where she was using her vehicle as a weapon, right?
Was she?
That is what the video I
That is an accusation. That is an accusation. But that is not
videos where her wife was saying, come on, baby, let's go. Drive, baby, drive. There is a video where she's charging using her car. Now, we can...
All right, that was MSNBC. And you can move it a little more, Nina. Go ahead. Oh, can you see it? Okay, good. That is an MS Now. And a guest that was on there, I guess a lefty who was on the program, Rena Shah. And she said, Renee Good, the 37-year-old woman who was blocking traffic and then was using her vehicle as a weapon, used her vehicle as a weapon against ICE agents. And everyone's like, whoa, you can't say that. It's MS Now. Don't you see what's on the chyron on the bottom? Don't you see the logo? I mean, you're not allowed to do that. And then she did. And, whoa, how about that?
Number 2.
We are happy to announce historic reductions, particularly for South Florida policyholders, including Monroe County. So the vast majority of citizens, policyholders will receive a significant reduction. The statewide average will be 8.7% reduction. Of those, over 150,000 will see their rights drop by more than 10%. Here in South Florida, Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach, average reduction will be 13.4%, as this area was the center of the litigation abuses.
All right, that was the governor from earlier today, and the governor was announcing historic rate reductions for citizen property insurance policyholders. Statewide premiums are going to drop about 8.5%. You've got the largest cuts going on in South Florida. Broward, Miami-Dade homeowners might see 14% average deductions. And like you said, you've never really seen rate reductions like this, certainly with citizens. And that is good governance. And it's good that in Tallahassee a few years back, they had that legislation, tort reform and some other things that were going on to help insurance companies to do business in this state and to help to lower the cost. When people were like, oh, we're going to lose the insurance companies, nobody's ever going to come back to the state of Florida. It's like, wait a second, everybody else is moving to the state of Florida. You're saying that insurance companies don't want to be here? Of course they want to be here. And so that was some really good news from earlier today.
Number 1.
Blocking the road. They are claiming this is an act of terrorism.
Yeah, Renee Nicole Good, as you hear her say, she's not mad. She's sitting in her car, peacefully waving cars to get by.
I gotta stop. I can't do it. Okay, so there's more, and I'll play that in just a minute because it was hard to believe when I heard it the first time. It's even more difficult as I listened to this the second time. So that's Democrat Representative Ilhan Omar from Minnesota, who goes on to face the nation. And, of course, a lot of the big lefties went on to the lefty media outlets. And she said about Renee Good, the 37-year-old who was using her car as a weapon and was blocking traffic. And she said, oh, no, she was just sitting in her car, peacefully waving for cars to get by. Are you serious right now?
Drew's Top 5.
Yeah, she was serious right there. And again, this is the gaslighting that isn't going to work because everybody can see exactly what went down. She goes on, listen.
This agent, as you see, gets out of his car, automatically starts running towards her, trying to open her door.
Why would he do that if she's just sitting in the middle of traffic and impeding ICE from being able to do their job? So, no, she wasn't just sitting there peacefully waiting for cars to go by. Again, you had a chance to see it yourself. And so did every single lefty across the country. But there you go, once again, what they put out there. And why would this officer just show up at the car like that?
She feels scared. She tries to turn the wheel away. And then you see the other officer, who can clearly see the car is moving, move towards the front of the car, which if they are saying that he has 10 years on service and is trained, he should know that you shouldn't be trying to get in front of a moving car. And so
okay, wait, whoa. Okay, so there it is. So it's Ilhan Omar who is suggesting that it's the ICE officer's fault. He shouldn't be in front of the vehicle. He should be wherever he needs to be to make sure that somebody isn't illegally impeding the job of ICE agents. And again, a person who only a few months ago was dragged by a criminal illegal 300 feet as he was trying to apprehend an individual, and again, a criminal illegal. And so I think he has a good feel as to what's going on in front of him with a large vehicle heading in his direction. But a couple of other things that were going on and a lot of the gaslighting that we were hearing. Let's see. This wasn't even gaslighting, though. I just wanted to play this clip before we move on. This wasn't even gaslighting, as a matter of fact. This was the Minneapolis mayor, Jacob Frey, who was being asked about the fraud, because ultimately all of this in Minnesota has been about not just the ICE agents being there to apprehend criminal illegals and maybe people in the country illegally. I know, we're allowed to talk about that? Like, if you break our laws, are we just supposed to be like, hey, do you vote Democrat? Oh, okay, then you can break laws. Is that how this works? No, it doesn't. There's also the fraud going on in Minnesota, so this was kind of a wake-up moment. Listen to this from the Minneapolis mayor.
Let me ask you about the leadership in your state. Dozens of people in Minnesota have been charged and convicted with stealing millions of dollars of taxpayer money for government programs. Do you think Governor Walz did enough to stop the fraud in your state? And do you support his decision not to run for re-election?
All right, so you're following this. Did the governor do enough to stop the fraud? So I guess, is that NBC News now and Meet the Press, who is admitting that there was fraud there in Minnesota? Like, they can't do it anymore. You can't it went from there's no fraud in Minnesota to like, there's just a little bit of fraud to, all right, well, we're on it. And so what about this? And the governor and his resignation, the fraud. So here is the mayor of Minneapolis who says...
Well, look, Governor Walz is the reason that we've got paid family leave in Minnesota. He's the reason we've got free...
Not what I asked you. Not what I asked you.
...school lunches.
Not what I asked you.
Him and I, we've been through thick and thin.
Not what I asked you. And so here is... Meet the Press, the host, I forgot her name. Doesn't matter. And she says...
Did he do enough to combat fraud, Mayor? Did he do enough to combat fraud?
Yeah, did he do enough to combat fraud? That's what we want to know.
Look, obviously, everybody could have done more to prevent fraud. And I think that's a fair point to make. Do more to prevent fraud. And you look what he's doing right now. He's setting up a whole bunch of infrastructure to do that. And by the way, look, the fraud's real. We've all got to acknowledge it. The fraud is very real.
Okay, the fraud is very real. It's been known about for a very, very, very long time. For decades, as a matter of fact, they've known about this fraud. And the leadership in Minnesota didn't do a single thing. They weren't doing anything about it. A.G. Ellison and the mayor there, Jacob Frey, the thing about fraud, which is interesting, is it feels like, allegedly, it feels like if it's a Democrat doing the fraud and somehow it benefits Democrats in elections and the like, it's like, we can look the other way, right? It feels that way sometimes, and it's pretty discouraging, but it's got to stop, and hopefully it will stop. All right, one more thing before we go. All right, let's see. I wanted to get to this. Okay. Yeah, do I want to do this now? I was kind of going to wait until the break, but I guess I'll do this right now because there's been some interesting moments in entertainment and sports. Some of it has been, unfortunately, like we saw in the state of Florida, where we were joy-filled on Friday, and we were talking about Miami and the University of Miami and how awesome they have been to get to the national championship. Likewise with the Jaguars in Jacksonville, and we were so excited about moving on there in Jacksonville, and I'll tell you, they are an incredible team. They are fun to watch. They've got an incredible future. Jacksonville is one of the most amazing cities in the state, and it was very depressing, quite honestly, personally, to see them lose to Buffalo. It was heart-wrenching, and there was that. So you had the joy of Miami going to the national championship and the sadness of the Jags getting out so early. But then there was sports and entertainment that were talking about politics. I know it sounds crazy. Well, maybe not the Golden Globes and Hollywood and the Hollywood elite. But are you telling me sports is getting involved in this as well? Yeah. All right, so when we come back, kind of like a bow on the show as we're out here live, we'll talk more about some of the nonsense that's being discussed by, I don't know, coaches who have every right in this country to say what they want, but sometimes they should just not.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, once again, we're putting a bow on the show, finishing up here live at Oaks Farm Seed the Table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road off I-75 in Southwest Florida. Big thank you to everybody. Got a nice crowd, big crowd here. Scott Pressler speaking to the audience right now as we speak. We appreciate him being here and so many others for hanging out with us today. And before we go, just a couple of things. Listen, we believe in free speech here on this program. We believe in free speech on this in this state, in this country. We do. I know there are some that don't. And there's some that are like, man, are there certain people that we can just like limit a little bit of their speech because they're no. I'm okay. I'm all right with people that say things like Wanda Sykes did at the Golden Globes when being asked about that button that she's wearing that says "Be Good," and she says,
"The pin, be good." Tell me about
Be
the
good.
pin.
Yes. Of course, this is for the mother who was murdered by ICE agent, and it's really sad. And you know, I know people are out marching and all today, and we need to speak up. We need to be out there and shut this rogue government down, because
so there's Wanda Sykes, speak up and shut the rogue government down, and calling it murder. And I'm sorry, where's the entertainment part of this show, the Golden Globes? So this is, again, Hollywood doing what they always do, and somehow believing that people listen to those in Hollywood and are going to be swayed by their discussions and decisions and the thing they comment on. And I don't know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Every time I think about Trump, I get allergic.
Yeah, like with Hillary. There's a good example of how it didn't work. But anyway, and then you have sports. Now, there are some people who, think about sports as an escape, and sometimes it's fantastic, like Miami going to the national championship. Sometimes it's crushing and sad, like the Jags losing to the Bills, and again, they should have had. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on the Jags. Oh, I love the team, and the future is exciting for Jacksonville. And then you have certain coaches that just seem to always want to get into the political that's going on because, I don't know, I guess they can't help themselves. Here's Warriors coach, Golden State Warriors coach Steve Kerr talking about Minnesota and ICE agents.
I'm glad that the Timberwolves, recognized
her life and the tragic nature of her death. And it's shameful, really, that in our country we can have law enforcement officers who commit murder and seemingly get away with it.
Yeah. So, can I watch the? Can I watch the game? No, you got to hear the coach, who is very lefty, Steve Kerr, in case you didn't know. But the great Sage Steele had a fantastic comment on X as she was talking about, here we go, the virtue signaling, the feelings over facts. Doc Rivers, coach, did the same exact thing as Kerr about the Minnesota incident. And she's like, hey, where were you when Irina Zarutska was murdered in North Carolina on that bus? How about Charlie Kirk when he was murdered? Where were you then? Nowhere. That's right. And as she said, shocker. Yeah, just one of those things where it's like, wow, just you know what's out there. You know it's not going to go anywhere. These are people that really do feel like that they have an influence with their opinions. And listen, maybe sometimes they do, but at the end of the day, do we want to take away their freedom of speech? Nope. There are some that do. All right, listen, a big thank you to Scott Pressler, conservative, and everybody who came to be with us, and all of you who stopped by, Seat the Table today on our live show. Look forward to seeing you back in studio tomorrow. My name is Drew Steele. It's Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a